Full transparency, my nerves are on 8,000 million right now. This is crazy. Welcome back to season 6 of the Mirage Podcast, a podcast that is based on empowering and uplifting conversations, interviews specifically with people who are just shining their light very brightly into this world. And I'm sure we all agree that we need a lot of that nowadays. So my ADHD is flaring up right now. I'm nervous about coming back for this initial episode. So let me take a deep breath. And I'm going to let y'all know why I'm so excited to be bringing everything back. There are new things going down, okay? Season 6 is not going to be like the 5 seasons before it. So here's the new structure. I will run an episode every week for the entire year of 2026. Sounds a little crazy saying it out loud, but with the incredible folks that are going to be involved, with the guests that I've already connected with that are on board, I know that that is going to flow perfectly. We will have repeat guests this time around, which we didn't really do before. So folks can come back and talk about a different topic if they'd like. Speaking of topics, I'm really excited for this part. Every single month of the year is going to have a specific theme. So now folks are being invited with even more intention than I had before, because we're looking at the timeline of one whole month. And then each week in that month, we will be talking about, for example, parenthood is one of the months, one of the things we're going to highlight. So for an entire month, parents will not just have one episode to turn to, they will know that they can listen to 4 or 5 different people, different perspectives about parenthood, and be able to tap in and listen to some incredible people talk about that. So with that being said, here are the 12 topics that we're going to be discussing. I always tell my clients, don't clap while they're talking, and I just clapped right in the microphone. But anyway, here are the 12 topics that will be highlighted for each month throughout the year of 2026. For January, we have reinvention, bravery, and grace. I'm excited to share that Allie and Sarah will be coming back. We've interviewed them before, but a lot has happened since you heard from them last. So I'm excited for them to share their updates, the grace that they've given themselves, the courage that they've had moving through the last several years. It's going to be a great conversation. In February, you may have guessed this, we're going to discuss love and marriage, but I am intentionally going to bring on people that are in all different stages of dating and relationships. So single folks, I want to hear from you as well about operating in this day and age as a single person right now. Folks that are out in the dating pool, as well as folks that are in different stages of their marriage, whether they just recently got married or they've been married for 60 years. I'm still looking for guests for that right now. So if you know anybody that would be interested, please send them my way. Then, of course, we have parenthood. So that's going to be in March, and we'll hear from parents that have different styles of parenting, whether I'd like to reach out to folks that have maybe adopted or are adopted. I'd like to speak to folks, of course, who are single parents or navigating co-parenting. So that's going to be a great month. Entrepreneurship, got a lot of people lined up to speak on business ownership. May is titled Behind the Scenes of Big Moments. So back to the entrepreneurs or possibly the artists or anyone really who has a very big monumental moment or experience in their lives that has changed them, whether it be for the better or not, but being able to speak on that experience and what it has done for them and inspiring other people, of course, through that. Then you know it was coming. Mental health will be a topic. Then we have creativity and artistry. So some incredible artists in all different arenas are going to come on the show and speak about whether it be fashion, whether it be music, whether it be visual art and painting, graphic design. We're going to get into it that month. Then we have physical health and wellness. You will hear back from Sarah during that month, who, since you've heard from her last, has received her doctorate in physical therapy, amongst other things. That girl's amazing. But we're going to bring on some folks that really prioritize physical health and wellness. We're going to tap in with some nutritionists, the whole 9. Then we have community, and I have some community members or folks that have built incredible communities that will be coming on the show to talk about that network, what it means to them, how it impacts the world beyond their community. Then we have identity and becoming. Very excited for all of these topics, but that one definitely stands out to me in regards to being secure within yourself and how you show up in the world. Different concepts and topics that inspire you to show up authentically. In November, we have faith and spirituality. And then in December, we're going to talk about finances. I figured that goes good for December. Like, right before the new year, let's learn a few things about how to manage money so that we can step into 2027 being more financially sound or free or comfortable. So that is the structure for every episode for all 12 months of 2026. I can feel your excitement through the screen right now. But anyway, I have a surprise for today's first episode. I've invited some very special people to have some impromptu phone calls with me. These are folks that will be coming back to the show for their own individual episode. But today I thought it would be fun to have an introductory conversation to build up the excitement, to answer any of their questions as far as what it means to be a guest here on the podcast. But I also wanted you all who are listening to hear from just incredible folks and hear what it is that they're going to bring to the show throughout 2026. So my first call today, drum roll please. This is DJ D Curry, and I have Douglas Curry on the phone.
Sure.
Hi. How are you today?
I'm pretty good. I think we good. Oh well. Second day of 2026. So yeah, feel refreshed.
Of 2026. If you had to say in just one or two sentences, like looking ahead, how do you feel about the year ahead of us and what's to come?
I am deeply optimistic and excited for plenty of things on the horizon. For me, some things on the horizon for us, with our DJ collective. So yeah, optimistic and excited.
I'm a little sad that I have you on the docket for an October conversation that feels so far away from now. That's another reason why I wanted to chat with you today. So you're going to come on the show in October to speak about identity and becoming. I would like to emphasize your career and your journey as an educator. You are shaping so many people, so many fantastic students in who they are and who they are becoming as they move through, their college years and becoming educators. So can you tell me exactly what you are pursuing right now as far as your doctorate and how you feel about having that impact on your students?
Right now, I'm a doctoral candidate at NC State University in the program of teacher education and learning science with a concentration in educational equity. After coming off of a 10-year career of teaching middle and high school social studies, I just really wanted to broaden my impact. I had students in my class and we got to build relationships, year after year, which was great. And I felt like the best way to spread that impact would be to go back and become a professor, which for me feels like actually coming full circle from when my career first started to my family being educators to now me educating educators. So,
And we've spoken before about the educators of your family, about the generations that have come before you. Tell me a little bit more about that and how that has shaped who you are.
my mom taught middle school PE about 3 decades. Both of her brothers also were teachers, and their parents, my grandparents, were also educators. So the kind of inside running joke is that this is the family business. Uh, so I have been a lifelong learner, like truly, and then been around lifelong learners. And so that is what shaped me to want to become a teacher as well.
Mm-hmm. It has been a blessing to know you in terms of you being an educator and just also being a very inspirational and impactful person. I'm really grateful for you, and we are going to hash out and dive into those topics some more. I know you also mentioned wanting to talk about community, so I just wanted to get everybody excited to hear more from you in a couple months. Thank you for your time today.
Oh man, I'm so excited. This is gonna be so dope.
I really appreciate you. That's it. That's all I wanted. I told you it's short and sweet. I didn't really tell folks like, yeah, I'm like introducing you, but also introducing the whole season. You have heard from this absolutely incredible, one of my favorite people in the universe, fantastic human before. So Timesha Akoni is on the phone, and I got the video on the Google Meet. I just hung up with Douglas. Douglas did not do video, so this was a treat, my friend. So, Timesha, the new structure of the season is really exciting to me because we're going to try to actually do 52 episodes. We're going to have a different theme for each month. And you said that it was tough to decide between all of the topics.
Because it's a lot, like a lot of that is just life. I don't think I'm like a specialist in one or the other, but I got a little bit to say about a lot of them.
How did you feel about being on the show the first time that we had that interview?
Nervous, sickly nervous. Like, oh my God, what are we doing? And why am I so nervous? But afterwards, I felt great. I was glad that I did it. I was really proud of myself and you. And I felt like I was able to have a very like safe space, transparent conversation.
Do you feel the same level of nervousness this time around?
Always, but it's not you. It's just me. I'm an overthinker.
Go
Instead
ahead.
of claiming it as nervous, I'm gonna call it excited.
I believe I'd like to bring you on to the show for Entrepreneurship Month. And in terms of entrepreneurship, I mean, let me just say, Timesha is one of my biggest inspirations. We've talked about this before. I have watched her walk in her purpose for decades and decades of my life now, because we family, Yeah, I've watched the growth, the trajectory of everything that you have and that you're accomplishing right now. And it's very inspirational to see some of the steps that you've taken for yourself personally and for your business as an entrepreneur. So knowing that you might come on the show for Entrepreneurship Month, what are some things that come to mind that like you're excited to share you're excited for other entrepreneurs to hear? Is that okay? Do you even like that I chose that month for you?
I was thinking I would do that, right? I was thinking I would do that because I have a lot of big changes happening for me in my business right now. So that would be cool to share.
There's an element of speaking on being such a successful and incredible entrepreneur, but also being a very successful and incredible mother, which I think that you are. So
Oh, thank you. What is this?
what is what? I'm
Is
just
it
telling you
what's
what happened.
happening? Is this because it's Andre's birthday? Because I'm feeling real doted on.
Oh no. That's also a reason why, but I did not connect those particular dots. I'm excited that you agreed to come back onto the show. You know how much I love you. Everybody knows how much I love you. And Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. I love you too. And I'm glad and excited. I'm not going to call it nervous. I'm excited.
Yes. That's my favorite scripture. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. If you can switch it up and express the same feelings in a more positive way, let's do it, So the next person that's hopping on the call, we're going to try not to cry. Okay. I actually meant to bring a box of tissues. Like, you see how, so right, you can't see it in that video, Nakea. You'll see it eventually. I brought a nice little house plant in my new favorite planter. I have my water in a cup that like hopefully they will sponsor me one day. But anyway, and I meant to bring a box of tissues because of people like this. Okay, I already mentioned this show. We're very intentional about bringing on the brightest lights that are just shining out in this world and literally making the world a better place. And Nakea Marie Jones is one of those people. Nakea, I'm inviting you here today, and I cannot wait to have a deeper, longer conversation with you because you're just incredible. I can't think of a lot of other people I've met with a heart as big and beautiful as yours. And
Where's the tissues?
I just explained to everybody that every month we'll have a specific theme for 2026 and for our conversations. And Nakea is so amazing. She was like, all these topics are incredible. Like, I'll do whichever one you want, which thank you for even kicking that energy. That's amazing. But when I think of the type of love that you hold and that you give to the world, I do think of a mother, an ultimate mother a mother who shares love freely and unconditionally. So I was wondering if you would join me for the parenthood theme and what your thoughts are about that.
I would absolutely love to. I would be honored. I am honored to call you cousin-in-law. And you and I know the history of that, and it is what it is. And the way you have shared your family, your brother, your sister, your mom, your aunts, the way you have shared your family with me. We don't play about our families. So when we share our families, that means that someone means the world to them. So I am honored and humbled and so blessed and grateful for Aunt Lynette, Aunt Faith, of course, Mommy Michele, and all of our shared siblings and shared family. And you mean the world to me. And, music brought us together. Like you always say, you're one of those people that I don't remember your origin in my life. Right. But I can't imagine life without you. I don't know if it was a Facebook group. I don't know if it was seeing each other at house music events. I have no idea the origin of us, but I do know that I could not do life without you. So I am grateful, humbled, blessed to have you in my life and to support you and this amazing media mogul dynasty legacy that you are building. DJ, photographer, podcast, all the things, community events, community impact. You are an amazing person, and I am honored to know you.
You are just, thank you, Nakea. Thank you. I'm very, very humbled.
Oh my gosh.
We have this effect on each other, and it's amazing. It's incredible. It's like my empathetic energy is renewed when I'm in your presence, illustrated by the way I fell apart in your arms on the Mushaloo at Stevie Wonder. DJ Spinna, shout out to DJ Spinna and his amazing event. Fell apart in your arms on site, and that's just the nature of us.
Yeah.
And then we got down to the business of dancing and partying, but first emotion and feeling. So that's just who we are, and that's just how we roll. I would love to share about parenting and parenthood as the child of a young mother and the sacrifices that she had to go through and give up to be my mother. She was the first act of unconditional love that I would experience in my life because she was a teenage mom. And then I became, a mom right out of college and got married and had 2 more children and earned 2 master degrees while being a mother, while working and doing all the things. And that is nothing that thousands of mothers aren't doing around the world, across the country. It's what we do. We buckle down, we dig in, and we get it done.
I can't help but to think this has actually been on my mind a lot lately. Emotions were heightened over the holidays. I was thinking a lot about the folks who sadly cannot say that, who sadly cannot say that they have a mother that did buckle down. My goodness. Yeah, my stomach just kind of turned even saying that.
Absolutely. I think about that when I see things that, when social media is that roller coaster, it's that up and down, it's that full pendulum swing where you see so much good, but you also see so much negative and bad. And like you say, I say to my mother all the time, if I couldn't call you 4 times a day, if I couldn't come to your house after church on Sunday and cry in your lap, if I couldn't get to you when I need you, I tell her all the time, I said, if I'm 100 and you're 115, I am going to weep and wail like it wasn't enough time. I don't care how much time we have together. And like you said, for those people who don't have those relationships, either, because of the addiction, adoption, whatever the case may be that caused the rift between their mother, father, like you said, parenthood, we are so blessed to have the supportive families that we have. Yeah. And like I said to you in text, you'll hop on 95 in a heartbeat and be in Jersey in no time. Who needs what? Somebody needs something? I'll be right there. In the midst of all of the work and all the things that you do, the joy that you bring to your clients, the beautiful videography, photography you do for the weddings and all the things, you find time to show up. And like you said, there's a lot of people that have it and there's a lot of people that don't. And all we can do is pray for those people. And I think that's why you and I are the empaths that we are, because for those people who are hurting, we would give anything to stand in the gap and take that hurt for them.
Anything.
We would do anything to stand in that gap.
Yes.
And that's all we want to do is love. You and I have never been materialistic, Prada, Louis, Gucci, MCM.
Oh no, I can't.
You got it.
No way.
If you could see me, unfortunately, I'm driving, but I'm doing the hands. I'm grabbing the air with the hands.
Right.
So yes, you got a Louis me, Fendi me, you got a MCM me. We've never.
If I don't get these Louis Vuitton.
The only thing that has ever mattered to you and I is to love and be loved in return. And that's where we find our value.
I wasn't ready, Nakea.
Listen, I know who you're saying. We're twin kindred spirits. Like truly. Soulmates are not always
romantic, right?
Romantic relationships. We are absolute soulmates. My soul sees your soul and your soul sees my soul.
I hate when there is no language spoken that can put into words how I truly feel. And the gratitude that I have for you just being who you are and seeing me for who I am. My heart's going to explode. It's just going to explode.
It's going to explode.
I wasn't ready. You took so many of the words right out of my mouth in terms of wanting to highlight your parents as well.
All three of them. Right.
All three of them. Yes. God knew I would be a handful. So he blessed me with two daddies. And, I lost my biological father, Pancho Keith A. Jones, March 9th of 2020. He was in the Navy for 26 years and then became a nurse, and he got it at work at the nursing home. I won't say the name of where, but he got it at work, and it took him in 3 weeks. And my bonus dad, who I've never once called stepdad because him and my mom were together 46 years, basically my whole life. And he was my dad. He was my daddy. I had two daddies. I didn't have a father and a dad. I had two daddies. They were both very present, very loving. And because of them, I think of myself as a big deal and can't allow anyone in my life to not think of me or treat me like I'm a big deal. Because my grandfather died when I was 7, and his love for me impacts me to this day at 51. He taught me how to bowl. He told me as long as I kept my beautiful smile, I could have anything I wanted in this world, which, of course, wasn't necessarily true. But at 7 years old, I believed it was true.
Right.
So I've always been loved and cared for and doted on. I had aunts who bought me diamond earrings and poodle coats when I was a child. And, I was the baby of the baby. My mother is the baby of 9, and I was the baby's baby. So I was baby and spoiled. Doggone it. I was spoiled. I'll just go out and say.
But you deserve, that's the thing. You all hear everything she just said. Obviously, you deserved to be spoiled. You did, and you still do. Like, it just is what it is.
That's right. And I serve a God who thinks I'm to die for, and I'm the apple of his eye. So all of those things, are the makings of me and who I am. So yes, my mother, my dads, my grandparents, my aunts, my cousins, my siblings. I've got a plethora of brothers and a sister. Yeah. And the love that we share is just, like you said, there's no language for it. There's no words.
No words. Listen, I have to get on to my next call for today's episode, but this was absolutely perfect. I'm not surprised that just this exchange accomplished exactly what I wanted to accomplish today in introducing you to anyone who is listening, and kind of giving everyone a heads up. Hey, get ready for the kids episode, okay?
Get ready.
I have prepared. The tissue box is missing. Make sure.
We will not forget the tissue box next time. Next time, we will definitely have tissue boxes.
Yeah.
But I'm honored. I'm grateful. Like I said, whatever topic, in whatever capacity you need me, I'm there for you. And I love you so very much. And I thank God for you in my life.
I love you so much. Thank you so much, Nakea. Seriously,
Of course,
I'm
of course.
gonna text you later, okay?
All right. Love you.
I love you. Drive safe.
As Daddy would say, peace out, 2 fingers.
So now that we're done crying, Dr. Valencia Hicks-Harris. Y'all, listen, Dr. V for president, okay? Dr. V 2030. I don't know what year it needs to be, but when I tell you that this woman is running the state of North Carolina and beyond in terms of first and foremost, mental health, okay? The mental health of the community, the mental health of both individuals and collectives, everyone around her, you cannot help but to just experience and feel how she empowers and instills confidence and understand, like, I could keep going. Okay. So many things come up as to how impactful and inspirational she truly is. I'm so grateful that I've connected with her. Dr. V, thank you for your willingness and your time and your energy, and just for sharing who you are with myself, with everyone that I know is connected to you, and with those who will be listening. I truly appreciate you.
Well, thank you. I feel like I need to take you everywhere I go because that was a phenomenal intro. And I mean, I keep telling my husband that I feel like the real boss move is when the wife can get the husband to change his last name because it's Hicks-Harris. But I appreciate that. Don't bleep it out because I want him to hear that.
That is so funny.
But I feel like that is such a running joke in our house that I want you to keep it just for that little bit.
That is so funny. I wonder if it's like a subconscious alphabetical thing. Okay, so I feel like that introduction could have been better. Hold on, let me keep going. Check this out. Okay. So I was actually just sharing with a friend earlier today exactly what I was going to be doing to introduce and begin this season of the podcast, right? So I was telling my friend, here are all the people I'm chatting with today. And when I got to you, I was like, hold on, let me get it together. Empower All Incorporated. The foundation of this organization is, I see the acronym. That's the first thing that comes to mind when I see STEAM, right? So science, technology, engineering, education, art, and check this, my favorite part, math. But that's not the only thing the M is for. No, music as well, okay? So the way that you incorporate incredible educational things in every single one of those arenas, I will never get over how you are so true to yourself in the spaces that you do show up in, and in the things that you have accomplished, right? I want you to know, you know how you have those moments, those memories that will never ever leave you.
Right.
And when you think back on them, they're bright and they're vibrant. And you had a fireside chat and you discussed an event that you attended. It was like somewhat of a corporate conference. And you said there were not many people of color in the building in the first place. Right. And then on top of that, you were talking about the dunks you had on. You were like, not only was I showing up as a quote unquote minority in that space, but I also showed up as my most authentic self. And I still represented me, and I still represented hip hop, and you still represented culture. And that is, I could listen. So I want to say that choosing a topic to bring you in on, since we have the monthly topics, it is so hard to choose. Community comes to mind. Identity and becoming comes to mind when I think of you. But both Douglas and myself, so I spoke to Douglas earlier, and he texted, yo, D Curry. So he texted me after, and he goes, I don't know if you've already spoken to Dr. V about this, but she would be great for the Parenthood Month.
Oh, wow.
I excitedly texted back, like, I have a call with her in a couple minutes. But listen, I don't know, like, maybe we should just have an all-encompassing episode where you take like 3 hours to talk about all of this.
Because there's so much to talk about with each different discipline. But honestly, my number one pride and joy and what I am working on is the becoming of a mother that I am. So parenthood is definitely something that is near and dear to my heart. And I think that other parents and caregivers and adults who interact with children need to know more information about.
We are absolutely doing it then. Parenthood it is. Now, based on everything I just said, and we only have a few more minutes just for now, but tell me about legacy. Tell me about how, I'm getting emotional. I can't even say it. Oh my gosh. You're so amazing. Tell me about legacy. Tell me about how everything that you are doing is impacting this next generation, impacting your son, and the way that he's going to now move in the world, you know.
That's right. That's right. Well, I will tell you that I'm a woman of faith. And, I hands down never mean any disrespect when I talk about my spirituality and my belief in God. And so with that, our spiritual grounding as a mom pushes us to rely on scripture and what is written. And with that, we read daily, and it again, in the same way, oftentimes that I think that it's a lesson for him, it's more of a lesson that impacts me. So with that, I tell people all the time, I hate it when people talk east and walk west. So with that, it's like I tell my son, I mean what I say and I say what I mean. So therefore, when we are reading and he is learning, I too put myself in it to ensure that I not only hold him accountable, but he holds me accountable too. So
Wow.
even like just last night, we started reading Proverbs, but it was talking about the importance of children listening and surrounding themselves with wisdom and with people who are wiser than them. And he got a little emotional because he realized there are times, he's a typical 8-year-old boy, when he doesn't listen. And so he was apologetic for that. I said, but guess what? I'm 41. My dad turned 79, and my mouth was a little spicy yesterday. So let me show you what I'm going to do. So I picked up the phone and apologized to my dad for my mouth and my sarcasm, because I want him to see that I truly am, want to make sure that I'm always being authentic and keeping it real, because none of us are perfect. And so I want to always keep that relationship open with Julius in the same way that he can have the relationship with me, to know that we have to extend grace to others, but ultimately we have to extend that grace to ourselves.
My goodness. So now y'all understand. You hear it, you see it now. We're gonna go so many different directions with just speaking to you. And again, I really thank you. I'm humbled that you trust, this platform, and that you're
Yes.
willing to speak more on that. I mean, I was blown away just now when you spoke on, like, you called your father.
Yeah.
And it was an intentional lesson.
Right.
You did involve Julius in that
Yes.
process.
That's right.
Say, watch what mommy's about to do, because let's
Right.
keep it real. And also, let's strive to be these better versions of ourselves.
That's right.
So yeah, Douglas hit the nail on the head with talking about parenthood, and I'm excited. I think in a very fun way, we can still implement that incredible acronym that
Yep.
utilize for Empower All, and see how every single one of those terms, those arenas, are implemented into you being a fantastic mother. So
Yay!
I think that's
And
the
mine
plan.
not come easy for me, so I'll save that
Okay.
spoiler alert a little later. So there was a lot there on that one.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm really excited. I really can't thank you enough.
Thank you, Ava.
And we got some other plans for 2026 too. We got a
That's
couple
right.
other meetings that we're gonna have. So
Yes, we are. Yes, and yes.
yes, I'm looking forward to it. Thank you so
All
much for your time, and we're gonna talk again soon.
right, later.
The next person that we are hopping onto a call with, Jon Warlick, has become one of my closest friends over time, and I'm excited for you to hear this exchange, this conversation with him, and I think it will be very easy to tell what it is that makes him such a fantastic person, but also such a good friend. Jon, you're another person that I'm struggling to choose which month and which theme to have your conversation in. I feel like you have a lot to offer when it comes to community, when it comes to artistry and creativity, when it comes to identity and becoming and being your authentic self. So we're going to have a fun conversation trying to navigate a couple things when we do your full episode. But until then, thank you for your time today. And I appreciate you hopping on just to say hello.
Oh, what an intro. That means a lot. Thank you for having me.
Of course. I would like to know from you, like, when you hear, I think it's interesting that you're nervous when you hear about podcasting, when you hear about just the mission of my show in terms of being vulnerable and also being inspiring to anyone who listens. Tell me about what you bring to the table, Jon, because you are very awesome, okay?
My nerdiness. I think everybody's got a nerdiness about something
Absolutely.
that you just love to just dive into, all the little nitty-gritty details that a lot of people might not, for whatever particular thing it is. And one of my favorites that has turned into my career is just cameras. Lots of cameras, how they work, how to use them to tell a story, to make it look amazing, feel amazing. So I get to be an artist, but also a bit of a scientist. Using both of
A
those.
camera scientist. That's good.
Yeah. Using both of those aspects of it to try to just maximize my use of it to make lots of people happy.
Yeah.
I feel so fortunate to have found an application for all that, because I was struggling for a while to try to create things. That's what I always have been like compelled to do, and find something where that can actually work for me and for other people. And yeah, I've been able to build a career out of it, and I've been full-time wedding filmmaker for 9 years now.
Now, I'm glad that you mentioned all that, right? I've heard you say this out loud in person before, and it stood out to me that you truly love what it is that you're doing. Like you said, you have found the niche, you have found the path that really does work well for you, right? But you mentioned specifically you love capturing and attending these weddings, and that it's not just the job for you. And it stood out to me because I know we all can probably relate to that feeling of, this is just the job. I am here kind of just because I'm trying to pay the bills, etc. But to know that you are moved and inspired by a wedding day and everything that comes with it. Can you tell me a little more about that? What is it about those wedding days, those beautiful newlyweds, the timeline, the vendors who make it all happen? Tell me how that really makes you feel and fuels you.
Well, one thing I tell people all the time that's still just so true is that every day I'm at work at a wedding day, it's the happiest day of someone's lives, and everybody else there is happy for them and to celebrate with them. So it really is a whole day full of like positive energy, extra positive from all these people, because it's a very special day for all of them. And so that's pretty infectious. It's easy for me to come into a wedding day with that kind of energy already, because it always gets boosted by the reality of all these people having a good time.
Yeah.
And it's just got so many different aspects of the wedding day, starting out kind of, usually a bit calmer at the beginning of the day. Sometimes it's nuts right from the beginning, but everybody hanging out, having a good time, getting ready, anticipating all the wonderful things to come, through to like some real moving moments when two people are, getting married. It's exciting every single time. And then of course a huge party to top it all off. And I can't help but dance. You see me.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Tom
can't
will
help
dance
it.
with that camera in his hand.
I know it's been 8 hours straight, and I still get pumped up on the dance floor. I mean, a lot of people would say the same. So that's infectious still. And you go home and you're tired, but you're lit up. I'm lit up about all the happiness that happened and all the footage that I got. And then it's equally fun for me to start to put that together into something. Like you even told me recently, I love your comment when I sent you my film of the wedding that we worked together last. And you just said something like, I was there filming with you, but the way that this looks and feels, it's like a work of art.
Yeah.
Like being there is awesome, but it's reality, and this almost feels unreal. So I love having that. It's almost like a superpower, being able to show someone what they were even there and experience with their own eyes and ears,
Right.
but make it feel elevated
Right.
and surreal is oh man, my favorite part, when people light up and are just like, oh my God, that's the best part of all.
Yeah, that was a really beautiful way to explain that, elevating an experience that's already so fantastic and heightened emotions and, sentimental. So what you do with the footage that you capture in terms of all of the fine details that I know that you pay attention to and that you implement into your editing process, the angles, like you said, being a camera scientist, so like the lighting, the shadows, there's so much thought that I know Jon puts into every minute that he's behind that camera, and then every minute of the editing process as well. With that being said, I had a question come to mind. I want to let everybody know. So the initiation of our friendship is because I'm really humbled that Jon trusted me enough to come on board as a second or a third shooter at one point, and everything. So like everything that I know about cameras, and there's still so much to learn. And I have ADHD, so it takes a little while for things to sink in. But he mentored me. You are such a caring and compassionate person in that way. And I see you always want to energize everybody around you, encourage everybody around you. You like teaching people things. Like, you're just so bright. With that being said, does anything ever make you nervous? You seem so just confident and like spot on and so knowledgeable, right? Do you get nervous?
I do.
Yeah.
And I have my own mental and emotional way of addressing that. I don't know if I could quite like put it into words, but I've been through it so many times that I am able to have that confidence that something good's going to happen. Good things always happen.
Yeah.
So I think I'm always just kind of a little bit, what all are we going to get today? That makes me a little nervous, like not knowing, but I am able to always feel confident that we're going to get something good. We're going to get something unique, because unique things always happen at everybody's wedding, something special. Right. And as long as you got your stuff running, as much as possible, when these little moments could happen, I love pulling out little just impromptu moments that I didn't set up. I got a few go-to, like, tricks of the trade, and good shots that I know work for everybody that I can kind of prompt. A lot of times I don't need to dig into so many of those, because for one thing, I think the people who are interested in videography have a bit of a I've had some shy people too, but if you're going to book a videographer, you're already a little bit ready to, shine a little bit.
For sure.
So something great always comes out, and it makes me less nervous all the time that no matter what, we're going to get amazing stuff.
Absolutely.
Always do.
Yeah. And like I mentioned, your attention to detail, like just knowing and hearing now that is the lens that you are looking through on a wedding day, where you're looking for those special moments very intentionally. Shout out to that dragonfly.
Yeah, one of those best impromptu moments that happen.
Right.
Yeah, that also is a good reminder that when you're going through your footage, sometimes that's the more tedious part of the job, is looking at all this stuff. And but that was a moment where I happened to be editing, and I noticed a tiny dragonfly.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad I saw that little thing just happen, because it was a whole saga over 20 seconds.
Right.
And I was like, people are gonna want to see this, and obviously they did. It's crazy.
Right. It was so.
Pay attention.
Right. Pay attention.
It'll pay off. Yeah.
Pay attention at home.
Yeah. A lot of times you as long as you're rolling and getting a lot of stuff, you're getting stuff sometimes you don't even notice until later.
Yeah.
So that's why it's just important to just keep rolling a lot of times. Yeah. I don't know. That's some good advice that's helped me out. Just like, you think a moment's over, maybe not. Just kind of leave it, because storage space in the end is cheap.
Right.
Better to have it and not need it.
Exactly. Nice. Well, I think this was a great introduction to who you are and the beauty that you bring to this life, which is why I wanted to invite you to be on the show for each month of 2026. I know we mentioned artistry and creativity, and you spoke about the fact that you were working in a more not so colorful, not so exciting career prior to making this move as a videographer. So speak on that level of just kind of artistic freedom, authenticity, and also being brave enough to make a shift like that, to go from what looks like that corporate 9 to 5 to trusting your creative and your artistic self. So we're going to talk about that for your episode coming up in a little bit, in a couple months. And also, that makes me think about your dad. I mentioned to you earlier, your father is an extremely talented and well-rounded musician. And you've mentioned to me how important music is to you because of how important music was to your father. So that's another, just lane of artistry that I think we'll implement into the conversation. It's going to be great.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yes, me too. So I appreciate your time today. Funny enough, I will see you, my friend, in just a little bit. So we are going to go shoot a 10 and a half hour wedding day in Winston-Salem. So I'll see you in a little bit. I'll text you.
See you soon.
Okay. I'm going to go wrap this episode up. And thank you so much for your time today.
Oh, thank you. See you soon, Ava.
We have now spoken to just a few of, there's a lot more folks that I've already extended an invitation to. There are a lot more folks that I just can't wait to continue to highlight and magnify. And for anyone who is being introduced to the Mirage Podcast present day, there are certain people that I've had in my life that gave me the answers to every question I've ever had. And those answers to me looked like light that was shining in the midst of darkness. That darkness for me growing up felt like confusion. It felt like disconnection. It felt like heartbreak, different heartbreak that I went through. And the list could go on. It felt like a lack of self-esteem, a lack of self-worth. And there are people, namely my Papa Jon, which we always make sure we mention him on this podcast right here. Namely my Papa Jon, and the relationship that I had with him is one of the most impactful connections that has just inspired the person that I was able to become growing up, right? So this podcast exists because we all need those people. I want to have these conversations with the brightest people that I know and that I've met. I want to share those conversations with you, everyone who's listening, because one of you needs to hear about Jon's transition from the corporate world to the creative world. At least one of you is thinking about making a transition like that. At least one of you has been suppressing a creative feeling and wondering if everything's going to be okay if you were to dive all in and go for it. So yes, you're going to want to hear about Jon's experience and hear about how incredible he is and continues to be on his journey. One of you is a parent who just wants to hear a conversation that will be insightful and inspiring in regards to being an even better parent than you already are. One of you loves really, really hard. At least one of you has a big heart that no matter what it goes through will not break. And that's why you're going to appreciate this conversation that I'll have with Nakea. Like, this is life. This is people. This is community. And to wrap up, I think community is one of the main things I wanted to speak on, because as I have been here moving through this very recording, the thread of community just kept coming back to me. I cannot believe, I just can't believe that God decides and deems folks worthy of these beautiful things, these beautiful experiences, being surrounded by these beautiful people. I think about those who are feeling lonely. I think about those who are feeling unseen and unheard. You deserve to be seen and heard. And this show exists because I've met so many people that also deserve that. And I just want to make sure that their light can shine just a smidge brighter by having a conversation here on the Mirage Podcast. So with that being said, I am insanely grateful. There are no words to describe how happy and grateful I am for every person that's going to be involved in the show in 2026, as well as every person that you heard from just now today. And to anyone listening, like, your support, your understanding, your encouragement, it means everything. It means everything to me. With that being said, I can't sign off without giving a shout out to the people that mean the most to me. So shout out to my incredible parents, who I'm grateful for and I think of every day, and I thank God for every day. Shout out to my siblings, Robbie and Ivana, who inspire me to be my most authentic and most loving self, because the two of them deserve all of the love that I have in my heart. And yeah, shout out to those four. Quite literally could not do it without them. I hope y'all are feeling what I'm feeling right now. Let me say that. I hope that through the screen, through the headphones, through the whatever, that you understand what it is that I'm putting out into the world when it comes to Mirage Media and Video and the Mirage Podcast. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And yeah, we'll see you next Monday.